Hello everyone, welcome to round number 6 of Grand Chess Tours Super Chess Classic Romania 2026. So, we got the news that Alireza is now fully withdrawn from the tournament, but there is Norway Chess that starts in 5 days, and as per journalist information, Alireza is going to play there, but decided to not continue in his run here in Romania. But okay, let's take a look at some other games. There were a lot of interesting things to analyze, and let's start with the following endgame. The Rook endgames are usually a bit complicated, and a lot of beginners might actually go and lose this endgame. You can kind of try to take a look at this position and find the best move. So here, basically, white reach the fielder position with Rook h3, cutting the king across the third horizontal. So now if black push c3, Rook h3 was played in the game. So if now black push, Rook can slide all the way back to h8, and now black are not able to make any progress because let's say king b3 has been checkmate. You can just start checking from behind, and the king is not able to escape checks. And if it goes to get the rook, I mean, we can just come back, Rook a3, king c2, take the pawn and draw the game. So Prague goes Rook a3, but now it's just a draw, takes, king c2, king b2, and a position. Very important, actually, as an exercise. I think it's quite useful for players to solve. So yeah, I mean, I can't say it's too difficult, but sometimes, like, let's say beginner level players don't even know what fielder position is, so sometimes it is worth showing it. But we move on to the next game where there is another Rook endgame. So black are going this side, white are going this side, white are about to promote with Rook g8. So black have to play Rook c2 to stop the pawn. So now if Rook goes anywhere, it just draw because Rook will take. So g6 was played. Now you cannot take on g6 because Rook g8, king f7, c8 promotes and white wins. So you gotta just go back and forth with your Rook and Rook c2. So if king g4 here, we can give check with Rook g2 first. We stay here, and after king h4, we just come back to c2. And again, white are not able to make any progress. So king f3, Rook c4, king f3, and Rook comes back. King f4, Rook c2, king f4, Rook f2. Once again, if you now this, Rook g2, so king goes back, Rook c2, and players agree to draw because no progress can be made. And let's say, for example, if king d5 and white are trying to go this side, I mean, we just stay. King c6, king d6, sorry, and now Rook d1. And now you start giving checks, king f5, you can give check, king f4, and now Rook c1. And now once again, king g4, you can just give check, king g5, and then go Rook c1 back. And now even if white take this pawn, there's still no progress that can be made. The maximum white can achieve is to go pawn g5, but it won't do anything. So we move on to Jordan van Forest versus Anish Giri, the Battle of Two Dutch. And they had quite an interesting game. So knight b3, bishop f4, c5, queen e1, trying to stop some attacks, bishop c7 attacking the queen, and bishop g6, beautiful idea to trade the bishops off the board. And we transpose to the following endgame. So sometimes I'm amazed by, I mean, just the quality of play, because let's say, I mean, I'm playing chess. I mean, I consider myself a bad player, but let's say I'm still better than 99%. But those guys, they're miles better than myself. I mean, not miles, just like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, you see them play 99% accuracy game. I mean, I have them as well, but let's say for me, I just like understanding and playing some positions, while these guys can play whatever. I mean, just like any position possible. So Rook c1, Rook d1, Rook d2, takes, and it looks like white are just up a pawn. But there is enough counterplay. Rook d2, Rook b7, king g8, Rook b4, Rook b2, and once again, Rook endgame. And no progress can be made. Rook e4, Rook e3 takes the pawn, and now players agree to a draw after 3-fold repetition. Fabio played against Mr. Yavahir, and he got a very promising position. Knight f1, knight g5, bishop e3, queen f6, and now knight h2 was a mistake. So the best was actually knight 3 h2, because white have more space, white let black trade pieces of the board. So that makes sense, but knight h2 takes, and Yavahir got more space. He traded one of the knights, and now he has more space for the pieces. Knight can come to f4, or can reroute in a different way. So bishop d3 takes, knight f4 takes, and there was really nothing to look at afterwards. Rook d1. Soon players agreed to draw, because again, 3-fold repetition, and all the games finished in a draw except for Vincent, who got basically a bye win in round number 6. So as far as standings go, you can see here Vincent is at 4.5, then Fabi, Anish, Jordan, and Prague 3.5, Wesley, Maxim 3 points, Yavahir 2.5, Bogdan, Daniel Deck 2 points. So Yavahir is going to be playing Vincent tomorrow with white, then Jordan with black and Wesley with white. So Yavahir is looking extremely tired. Like you can see Fabi is doing kind of good. He played in the candidates. Anish is doing somewhat good. He played in the candidates. Prague is doing 3.5. He played in the candidates. Yavahir played. I mean, I can't even say Yavahir's. I mean, he probably prepared a lot during the candidates, and now he's just coming off emotions. Sometimes I have it, let's say, during bullet. I mean, just like a comparison. During bullet brawl tournaments, let's say I play an extremely good game against Hikaru or against a top player, I draw, I win against a gem, and then the next game I'm playing against a lower rated player, or just again against any other player, and I have so many emotions that I can't control them, and I start playing so badly. I mean, Yavahir is not playing badly. I mean, he lost one game to Prague, and the rest games ended in a draw. So if he manages to win, let's say 2 games, he can still fight for the top 3 in this event. But yeah, just sometimes, I mean, he's just very tired right now, but he's gonna come back eventually. So let's see how it goes for rest of his games. He has 2 white and 1 black. I mean, technically, let's say Alireza made 2 draw against Yavahir and Prague. Now he's going to receive 0 against Jordan, Wesley, and Bogdan, because he's not going to play. And again, Vincent as well. Like, yeah, he lost to Fabi, Anish, and Maxim. That happened, but let's say Prague didn't receive a full point, Yavahir didn't receive a full point. So, I mean, you can argue about that decision, but yeah, it is what it is. You can just probably just, let's say, in terms of standings, you can just put a full point, just make it like a 9-player standings, and yeah, just do it like that without considering Alireza's result. That would be fair, I guess. But yeah, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed. See you tomorrow after round number 7. Bye.